Hi friends, it's Jess with Our Bipolar. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, just a little bit about me. I have bipolar 1 and I was diagnosed 25 years ago when I was a sophomore in college. And today we're doing the June recap. Just going to talk about what was going on in June, how it affected my bipolar. And I'm going to tell you right up front, I did have bipolar symptoms in June. But we'll get into that in just a little bit. So first, just so you know, I have already washed my face. I took a shower because I took Lucy, our dog, for a run this morning. And all the products I use will be linked down in the description box. There was quite a bit going on in June. So first, if you saw the May recap, you know that I had a work conference and it was in Atlanta. So I had to travel there and it was very busy for 4 days through the weekend. So one thing that was going on at the conference, I had just told my work team that I have bipolar. And so 2 of them were there out of the 3. And at that point, you know, they already knew, and it actually came up a little bit, but it was fine. And I have a video that I've done on that. I'll also link that down below. And then I did have to speak at a session at the conference. So I've never done that before. And that went fine, actually. I didn't even have to take my meds for performance anxiety. I just sort of did it and I didn't think about it too much ahead of time, and I was busy and tired from all the travel, so kind of worked out well. I have this kind of very rare syndrome. It's called disembarkment syndrome that I can get after traveling either by plane or like a long car trip, and the actual name of it is mal de débarquement. It's a French term. And basically what it means is after traveling, I will feel dizzy. Actually, it feels like I'm rocking on a boat. And I take meds before I get on the plane to try to ward this off, and it did not work. And unfortunately for me, for some people this will only last like a day. For me, it usually lasts a month. So we're now on week 3 and I'm still having the dizziness. At first I was like, this is not a big deal. Like, I'm fine, I can deal with this. And it's sort of like, you know, I'm moving right now. It's like every movement I make, I feel it. So it also kind of makes me feel foggy, like kind of brain fog, like I can't really focus fully. And it makes me feel a little down. And so after 3 weeks, it's really wearing on me. And I started to have some, you know, low level depression, like what I would call like the hypomania of depression, like hyper depression. I don't know. Like I could feel myself slipping deeper. And at this point, it's like, what do you really do with depression? Like if I have hypomania or mania, like I have antipsychotics I can take and like I kind of know what to do. Depression is like, well, the lithium I take is supposed to ward off depression, but if it hasn't, it's like it's not going to help me from, like I can't take more of it to not slip deeper. So I was just sort of like kind of starting to wallow in it. And then a couple nights ago, I was just like thinking about it before I was going to bed. And I felt like this switch, like this fight in me thinking like, we are not going to allow this to happen. And I thought to myself, you know, I'm going to get up tomorrow morning. I'm going to take the dog for a run because I've kind of been slacking on that. And I'm going to get out in nature. I'm going to get outside. I mean, obviously sunshine cannot solve everything. It's not going to solve my bipolar or my depression, but it will help. And it will help me a little bit. And it's something I really enjoy, and I need to try to enjoy things again. That's where I've been for a couple of days, and I do feel slightly better since that fight kicked in. So I'm just gonna, you know, keep a very close eye on how I'm feeling and trying not to, you know, feel stuck and get out of my normal routine and like stop doing things I enjoy. And so I'm gonna put on makeup because I have a meeting in just a little bit. So the other thing that happened at the beginning of the month, my daughter's softball team was in the playoffs, and this is like the first year we experienced that. That became pretty stressful, which is not what I expected. So in their final game, what ended up being their final game, they went into it and the coach from the other team decided they were gonna kind of like play from different rules, and there were no umpires. So our team had to try to do that too. So basically what the team did was anytime they got a hit, they would just keep running the bases. Like the girls would, try to get the out. If they didn't, these girls would just keep on running, like run all the way home. And it was confusing for the girls in the team. My daughter's team still ended up almost winning despite this other team cheating, and they lost by 1 run in extra innings. So at this point, I truly didn't know if the girls understood what was happening or if they just kind of thought, they were losing. I don't know. So after the game, it is very clear that the girls understood what was happening. Many of the girls on my daughter's team were crying. My daughter was crying. And the coaches were so upset. I mean, our head coach was arguing with the head coach from the other team throughout the game about all of this. It was so stressful. I've never felt like that watching a game. I actually had to walk around the field the entire game because I had so much nervous energy and I just felt so awful, but I knew I couldn't leave. I mean, I could have, because I was at risk of having symptoms, but we got through it. My daughter said she didn't want to play next year, the whole thing. My husband sent an email to the head of the league because he was so upset about it. And actually it turned out that other parents did as well. And we found out that the coach on the other team was reprimanded. I don't care if they win or lose, I don't care about that, but like, I don't want something like this happening where the kids are upset. It was just so stressful for my daughter and for us, and it was just not the way it should be. That was really weird and unexpected. And like having bipolar, like we hate unexpected, or I so hate unexpected. Like I want to have things within my control to some extent so I can plan for them and try to avoid symptoms. But I didn't get symptoms from that. I was able to get through. Last week, my daughter got this suspected spider bite on her leg, and it was causing her a lot of pain. It wasn't like itchy like a regular bug bite. But I was looking up about spider bites, and it says like the first couple of days are the worst, and then it should start getting better and less pain. And that's what was happening. So we're like, fine, everything's fine. And then last night, this is like day, 4 or 5? The pain is like, once again, like a 9 out of 10. I like gave her some Benadryl, tried to go to sleep, and this morning the pain, she's like, it's an 11 out of 10. We called the doctor. They were like, we want to see her. So she actually like just went to the doctor with my husband, and they're putting her on an like antibiotic and ointment, like the whole thing. I'm like, thank God we called. But before it really did seem like it was getting better. So as a parent, there are always these things happening, and no one really knows what to do. And you're always sort of like looking around like, where's the adult here to take care of this? Like, oh, it's me, like shit. So let's see, work has been work. I have to present at a lot of meetings at work, and I think I have a presentation coming up next week, but I'm getting to the point where I don't care as much. Like I said, I have performance anxiety. I do take the meds for it still, but I find that if I don't start preparing for the meeting too far in advance, then it's better if I sort of like pretend like nothing's happening until like the day before. And it's like I could be better prepared, but I could also be much more anxious and stressed about it. So it's working for me so far. Next month, I am going to be speaking at a conference, and I think I'm going to be talking about bipolar. So like how bipolar affects my work and like kind of how I cope with it. So this conference, like I'm also planning a session, and for the session I'm planning, we've had like, I don't know, 4 or 5 meetings already. And the session that I'm speaking in, haven't had a single meeting yet. So that's been interesting, but it's also like the same idea where I'm not worrying about it because I'm not kind of in it and planning it. And then right after that conference, like the weekend after, I'm doing a Q&A session at a mental health event that my friend puts on each year. I've never done that before either. Again, I'm not worrying about it because I don't know what I'm getting into. I don't know if you've seen any of these recaps before. You know, I have chronic migraine, and this month was a little better. I did have at least 2 flares, and they last about 3 days each, but it wasn't like anything severe, and the meds helped, and the meds, you know, do make me sleepy, but not so sleepy that I couldn't, you know, work or do anything at home. It was sort of fine. I'm still struggling with, you know, trying to get healthier from the weight gain that I've had on Seroquel and also on the beta blocker that I used to take. So if you have seen any of those Seroquel weight gain videos, I gained about 30 pounds over a few years, and you know, it was affecting my health, affecting my cholesterol mostly, which I already have like a predisposition for having high cholesterol. So I really don't want to have to start taking any other medication. I'm sure you know how that is. I'm really trying to like exercise a lot, eat better, just like do better. And then this month, I had lost like half of the weight. I think I'd lost, like 15 pounds. And then, you know, this happened with the disembarkment syndrome. And I don't know, it's like the disembarkment syndrome. I don't think this is an actual symptom of it, but it like increases my appetite. Maybe it's a comfort thing. I'm just trying to comfort myself, but I feel so much hungrier. So, and I hadn't increased my Seroquel. I'm like eating a whole lot more, especially at night, and I'm like trying to at least eat healthy foods, but it's, I don't know, it's just been really hard for me. And I kept thinking like, be kind to yourself, give yourself a break. This dizziness will go away soon. And I had gained back, I don't know, like 2 or 3 pounds. Again, I'm trying to like be kind to myself and just forgive myself and let it be okay. On any kind of weight loss journey, like it's not going to be completely smooth. It's, you know, there's going to be some up and down. I've hit plateaus, I've had to keep going, you know, but this is the first time I've like gained weight back. I mean, maybe that part is playing a part in the depression because like I've gained weight back and I'm not feeling great about that. Well, I'll leave you with something that happened just this morning. So I'm taking Lucy, we're going on a run, and I just have on these like red shorts that I've had forever. I didn't realize like that the waistband, like the elastic is, you know, has worn out. We start running and my shorts are falling down. Like they're not falling all the way down, but they're like starting to fall down. And I'm like, oh, it's fine. Like they're not gonna fall down all the way. Like, you know, and it's early, like no one's outside. So I just kind of keep going. And then suddenly all these people are outside, like cars are going past, someone comes outside of their front door, like just as I'm getting ready to run by. I'm just like running along and I keep trying to yank them up, but like I can't quite, like I keep sort of like grabbing my underwear too. So it's like, I must look ridiculous. I'm holding the dog with one hand with the leash and I'm like trying to, as I run by, and like, of course I don't want to stop running, you know, God forbid I stop running and like take care of this situation. So that's what topped it all off this morning. But I don't know what. So let's see how this hair is. I'm not gonna really do my hair, but I washed it last night. Oh, well, thank you so much for going back over this month with me. And yes, I'm still feeling kind of low and like slightly depressed, but I don't think it's gonna keep going down. I just, you know how like when you have bipolar, sometimes you just have that feeling, you just kind of know like, okay, things are now moving upward as opposed to downward. It's like you can have this feeling sometimes, especially if you've had bipolar as long as me. So thank you for watching this video and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.